Hello, and welcome back to Dottore and the Spy. Last time, we got ourselves ending 5, Guilty. We took the whole secret spy thing a bit too far by performing an experiment to bring dead people back to life. It's just a teensy tiny misstep, no big deal. This time, we're going to finally show the 8th ending on the list, and the 3 different ways you can end up there. Because yes, there is that many. No, I wasn't lying during any of the times I have brought it up. Let's just get right into this first by, of course, ending up right where we were on our last choice. So, to get ending 5, we performed the experiment. But what happens if we refuse? Well, only one way to find out. With wide eyes and trembling hands, you squint at the sharp blades. No matter how hard you try to move, you remain rooted to the spot. Well, that's disappointing. He wanders around the room until he disappears from your field of vision and stops behind you. His voice is close. Very close. Then, my original feeling about you and your loyalty was right after all. A deep sigh escapes him. It is a shame. Really a shame, but unfortunately it can't be helped. Or perhaps I could. Whether this time it was the dizziness or the sharp pain in the back of your neck that sends you into unconsciousness, you can't tell. Hastily, you open your eyes. So I'm actually going to stop the ending right here, because they all end up in this same space. So what I'm actually going to do is load it. Let me remember which save it is. Okay, so it's this save here. So just as a recap, this one was where we successfully had infiltrated. It's same thing, except for instead of continuing the mission, we're going to choose to cancel it. Now, normally, this would have gotten us, potentially, the 7th ending. The 7th ending, Apprentice, by telling the truth. However, with this one, I kept the notes. So what happens if we keep it a secret? Because as I said before, you have to burn the notes to be able to keep it a secret. Plus, we haven't actually seen what happens if we keep it a secret to begin with, so, new stuff. The next day dawns. As usual, you prepare for the upcoming tests, in which you are allowed to assist. The thought that you are withholding the truth from Dottore still lurks in the back of your mind, but you have made your decision. Shortly afterwards, you arrive at the lab on time. Dottore is already waiting for you. Here you are at last. You took your time. You laugh a little sheepishly and look to the side. Dottore gently puts a hand on your back. Is there something you want to tell me about? Surprised, you look up and remain in place for a moment. What do you think? With a slow gesture, Dottore points over to a stack of papers. You follow his finger and wander over to the table. With horror, you look at the pieces of paper lying on the top. My mission? That's right. These notes have been in my possession for some time now. He is coming closer, dangerously after. All at once his presence is again as threatening as it had been weeks ago. When were you planning to tell me about it? Searching for words, you stutter unintelligibly to yourself, while your gaze darts nimbly across the lab. So you have no explanation. A shame. A real shame. A sudden, strong dizziness pulls the ground out from under your feet. Yeah, he didn't like us hiding the truth from him, as you can see. And he had the proof this time of, oh yeah, you screwed up. Alright, so again, the hastily open your eyes, that's our cue that it's going to end up getting into ending 8. And now, I want to load this save here. I accidentally... Oh my god. Well. Oh, that sucks a little. Oh god. Give me a moment. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. I promise. It doesn't matter what I do. I just need to get caught. Let's, yeah, that's how I feel. I don't know what's happening. I screwed up so badly. Oh god, I messed up this so badly. Oh god. Oh lordy. I don't even care at this point. Nah. Oh, thank god. I thought for a moment that it's like, wait, did I do the notes and, like, accidentally keep them and give myself the wrong ending? Alright, we gotta get the delusion test. Fudge nuggets. Okay, anyways, as I was going to do, but I feel like the universe is trying to tell me not to do it. We are at the point where, as we saw, we got captured, we ended up being an experiment for the delusion testing, and we're given the chance to either try to escape or not. So we are going to escape. We did this before, so yeah. Basically, if we just try to escape, like sneak out of the lab without going after Dottore, we get ourselves that ending 10 frozen, where we froze to death out in the wilderness because we really did not think our escape plan through. Anyways, we are finally going to attack Dottore. Oh, this better be worth it. I already know it's worth it, but still. With trembling knees, you creep over to the pipe. As your hands grasp the cold metal, you wince as if the coldness inside would bite you. Millimeter by millimeter, you pull the pipe out of the pile without making a sound. Luck seems to be on my side. Then you fix Dottore with your watchful gaze. His back turned to you, he curses softly as he can't seem to find what he needs on the shelf. I really want to be cursing right now for my idiocy from a few minutes ago, but whatever. Tap, tap. You approach him step by step. Tap, tap. He is almost within reach. Tap, tap. Now you are standing behind him, the pipe raised high above your head. Yeah, this is the only time you can actually get this gallery image, is by attacking Dottore. Yeah, moments before disaster, am I right? Still inattentive, Dottore looks at a small bottle in his hands. This is your chance. Twack! The pipe rushes down. A dull sound resounds through the laboratory as Dottore slumps down. Still full of tension, you stare down at his unconscious body while your hands hold the pipe tightly. You stagger backward a step or two. Then you exhale in relief and a smile creeps on your lips. I did it. You drop the pipe, turn around on the spot, and are about to run to the open door when... I know exactly what I'm going to do with you. Hastily, you open your eyes. Yeah, let's finally get this ending. I've delayed the inevitable too long. I can't escape lobotomy forever. This room again. But instead of the operating table, you find yourself on a more or less comfortable chair in the middle of the room. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see the surgery table. Just the sight of it is enough to make you sweat. Kayal. The familiar voice snaps you out of your thoughts, causing your gaze to dart around for a few moments until you calm down a bit. I know what you need. A sinking feeling spreads in the pit of your stomach. What would come next? Weren't the pain in the previous tests enough? Dottore steps a little closer and tilts his head. You pretended to be a member of Fatui during the ball, but inside you were never one of us. He raises his hand and puts his fingers to your chin, forcing you to look at him. I have my methods by which I can really make you a loyal Fatui member. He lets go of you, disappears from your sight, and starts some preparations there. Unlike most of the other tests I usually do on a daily basis, this one is probably the most pleasant. All of a sudden, his voice is close to your ear. You won't notice anything, because you won't be awake at all during this time. A hot stabbing pain spreads across the back of your neck. This feeling quickly spreads throughout your entire body. The initial burning sensation then turns into a surprisingly pleasant tingling sensation, which finally rises up into your head and begins to cloud your mind. Not particularly entertaining, but extremely effective. The next day. The next day dawns. Hastily, you open your eyes and find yourself, somewhat surprised, in your room. You quickly stumble out of bed, go to the mirror, and look at yourself. Everything is still as it should be. Yet, the horrors of the past days have left their traces in your mind. But apart from that, I feel good? With confusion in your eyes, you watch your reflection in the mirror. Your hairstyle is a bit messy, but otherwise you don't look anything. You quickly change your clothes with a set you find in the closet. I don't know these clothes. You skeptically examine the soft white fabric in your hands. How the clothes ended up in your room is a mystery to you, but you realize that you are expected to wear them. As if you were being watched, there's a knock at the door shortly after you have finished changing. Irritated, your eyes fall on the door. Until now, it hadn't occurred to you to leave your room. Strange. With quiet steps, you scurry over to the door of the room and open it. Dottore requests your presence. You stare. All at once, it seems to you as if the tests and everything you had experienced since your arrival at the castle had been only a dream. You are back in your room. There are no scars or anything similar on you. The guard also seems to be behaving as usual. This line, I realize now, with the route I did it with, makes absolutely no sense because we did not end up here by the way of the other two routes where you have been in this room. Nope, we've never seen this room in our life. I get it. I know, like, this game's already convoluted in how it gets from endings to endings, and this ending in general is just so many different ways to get. But, yeah. I love picking the endings that aren't the ones that it should have been. If you didn't remember so well, you would still think you just had a bad dream. But the feeling that sits deep in your mind knows better. Without an argument, you follow the guard out into the hallway. The high walls seem almost inviting by now. Silently, the masked guard leads you through the corridors to the entrance hall. You take a quick look at the heavy door that leads out to the courtyard and before you disappear into another corridor. Please enter. With a small gesture, he points to the door in front of which he has stopped. For a moment, you look at the blank door handle and hesitate. What would be waiting for you behind it? Another trick? A new test? Or something completely different? Bravely, you push down the handle and step inside. And therefore, I see myself perfectly justified in my actions. Yeah, here's where Pantalone first shows up in the series. This ending. This isn't the only ending, but he does. This is the worst one I ever saw him in, was during this one. Which We're gonna see soon. How... Pantalone lets out a soft laugh that almost amounts to a sigh. Of course. They both look up and over at you. Only now does it occur to you that maybe you should have knocked. A grin spreads across Dottore's face. Ah, Kayal, finally. He beckons you over with a small gesture. Sit down. Yeah, so, you can't choose that one. You can do nothing but obey. As if by magic, your body starts to move. You take a seat on My brain is not working. That sounds about right for right now. You take a seat on a free chair next to Dottore. While Pantalone critically examines you, Dottore begins to introduce you. This is Kayal, former member of the Academia in Sumeru. Pantalone nods and throws you a gentle smile. You can't tell if it's genuine. Dottore seems to think a lot of you. Your eyes brighten in surprise as Dottore lets out a low grumble. Don't respond to him. You cannot! You literally cannot! First time I got this ending, I was losing my mind over the fact that you could, 1, have choices that aren't actually there, and 2, that I'm forced to do this. I was not kidding when I said about a lobotomy. It might as well have been. Not a word escapes your mouth. Pantalone brushes a strand of hair from his face and sighs deeply. Unusual that you allow someone like Kayal to move, more or less, freely in the castle. His words trigger an amused grin on Dottore's face as he turns his head towards you. Well, I don't have to worry about that. Kayal will only do what I order. Surprise flashes in Pantalone's eyes. You did. While the process is still quite experimental, here we see the successful result. With a flick, he points at you. Silence returns for a moment, then Pantalone's gaze wanders over to you again. You can't guess the intentions behind his friendly smile. Dottore, dear, how do you feel about a cup of tea? Kayal. With a small gesture, he beckons you over to him. Go and have the servants in the kitchen prepare you a pot of the good tea. Return to us with the tea. Again! All we can do is obey. You nod silently. As if by magic, your legs start to move. You leave the room and walk straight down the long corridor. Out of the corner of your eye, you spy the courtyard of the castle. There stands a carriage. It is far more magnificent than the one in which you were brought here. It must belong to the Harbinger Pantalone. For a moment, you stop. It is a unique opportunity that presents itself to you. But you can't. You can't use it! You have to go get the tea! Yeah! You have no choice. Your body obeys Dottore's orders alone, so you can do nothing as your legs carry you on to the kitchen. A little later, you are standing in front of the door with a tray, a teapot, and 2 cups on it. This time you knock and then enter the room behind. Ah, wonderful. Despite the thick walls of the castle, it is so cold here that a warm cup of tea is just what I need. I know I messed up the words. I don't care. You place the tray on a small table, pour a cup for Pantalone and then for Dottore. Just as you hand the masked man his cup, he places his fingers on your hand. You feel your gaze resting on you before he continues in a low voice. I told you. My methods are extremely efficient. He chuckles softly and then lets go of your hands. That is ending 8. Obedient. AKA my favorite ending in this game. Obtained upon ending up as a brainwashed test subject. So, as you could see, there are a lot of ways to get this ending. The first of those, which I showed, was to get almost the same exact stuff as you would for the guilty ending. So don't get caught at the ball, don't get caught exploring at night, obviously go to the castle beforehand. Continue the mission, and then instead of experimenting, refuse the experiment. So that's our first way to get it. Our second one that I showed was almost the same as Apprentice. Except, so first you have to keep the notes to get it this way. You cannot burn the notes, it does not work that way. So we keep the notes, don't get caught at the ball, go to the castle. Oh my god, words. Don't get caught exploring at night if you do. And then cancel the mission and keep your original mission a secret. That's how you get it the second way. The third way almost works identically as how ending 10 Frozen does. So, well, there's a lot of ways to get this one. Basically, you have to end up as a test subject in the delusion experiments. Whether that be because you get caught at the ball, you burned the notes, and ended up refusing testing, didn't end up being a double spy. There's a lot of different ways you can get to this point, I'm realizing. Oh, God. And then you could also get it by not getting caught at the ball, going to the castle, getting caught exploring, and then getting to that same point where you can try to escape. And then when you try to escape during this sequence, you have to attack Dottore. If you don't, you get ending the Frozen one. So yeah, that long explanation aside of how to get the ending 8 and all of its different ways you can do it, because there, as I said, there's a lot. And then now I will never have to bring this up again, that it is so many different ways. Anyways, so next time in Dottore and the Spy, we're going to get ourselves 2 of our endings that we have left, because we have 3 left, so we have 4, 6, and 9. So we're going to get 4 and 6. Then I'm also at the same time going to tie up all the little loose threads, as I'm going to call them, because we have some dialogue options that I have not gotten yet, that I haven't chosen either, that I need to get before I go for our final ending in this game. So I'm going to end up just throwing all that in one video. It's going to be a hodgepodge mess, but I don't care. It's unfortunately how I had to go about it, because otherwise we'd be here forever. Alright, anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.